Anaïs Marin is the UN Special Rapporteur on the situation of human rights in Belarus. She joins me from Warsaw in Poland. And I appreciate that because of your unique position, you can't specifically talk about, of course, what happened, because that's what you're reporting about. That's what you're looking into. But on the question of the human rights of the dissident who was removed, I mean, this is a cause of great, I would say, grave concern now. With what you know about human rights in Belarus, tell me more.
Well, I'm concerned about the safety of this individual, because we have a lot of evidence that torture and ill treatment is systematic in Belarusian detention centers, and it's a practice that is being used, in spite of being totally forbidden by international law, to extract confessions or self-accusations from detainees. And we have good reasons to believe that both Roman Protasevich and his partner Sofia had to experience such ill treatment based on the videos that have been disseminated by the Belarusian authorities.
Now, the problem is that you're not telling the rest of the world, or at least the European world, anything they don't already know. And bearing in mind Lukashenko's brazenness, even today in his speech, what purpose does an investigation like yours serve, other than to tell us what we already know?
Well, the reports that I am writing in the framework of the mandate given to me by the Human Rights Council are sort of authoritative for international organizations, for diplomats, and it gives a voice also to human rights defenders and civil society organizations who are involved in the drafting of these reports, because most of the data I use is the one that they communicate to me. Why? Because the government of Belarus, unfortunately, has decided to ignore my mandate, not to recognize it, and doesn't cooperate with me. This is very unfortunate, because the special procedures, mandate holders of the Human Rights Council, have as a major duty to communicate recommendations to governments so that they can improve the way they protect and human rights and prevent violations. Here we are facing a country government that obviously doesn't want to cooperate, but right. I still have to try.
And you know, that must be done. That must be done, of course, because there must be the correct documentation of such abuses. But I wonder if the cautionary tale isn't this, that we need not to be blind to the fact that the Lukashenkos of this world, backed up by President Putin, it would seem in this case, are playing by one set of rules, while we are playing by a second set of rules and hoping and wishing they would play by them as well, but they're not.
I understand your point. The thing is that indeed in the United Nations system, unfortunately, democracies and countries which are prone to defend human rights are a minority, and therefore the UN system is a representation of this world as it is. However, most of these countries that regularly, systemically commit human rights abuse have signed and ratified the conventions, the international conventions that actually ban torture, that actually guarantee freedom of opinion and expression, freedom of peaceful assembly. And for some reason, just in the same way as Mr. Lukashenko regularly holds manipulated elections, he also pretends to be cooperating with UN human rights mechanisms and to respect conventions that Belarus has voluntarily signed, and that with all the evidence we have, it doesn't respect.
We're grateful you've joined us this evening. Thank you. When there is more, we'll talk more. Thank you, ma'am, for joining us.